estate group, and I'm here with James with Pacific Washed, and he's here to tell us a little bit about what he does. So tell me, what is Pacific Washed?
Pacific Washed is a team of expert power washers. So we clean all exterior surfaces, but really, if you break it down and you take a step back, we make your neighbors envious. We protect you from your HOA and keep them off your back. We also protect your family and your investments. There is a significant amount of damage that can be done to an exterior surface and a liability if somebody falls on your property. Something that's really important to us is making sure that it is nice and clean and going to last as long as the projected date of some of the things that you put on your house, like your roof or your siding or concrete that you're laying out.
Gotcha. So tell me why you got into this business or how you got into this business.
Absolutely. So I like to think of it like I was born into it. I grew up on the East Coast. My brother and I started a pressure washing business about 15 years ago that's been super successful. Something that they deal with specifically is a lot of salt in the air.
Yeah.
It was close to the beach in New Jersey, and it took off. So we identified that little niche market. My dad had been a vice president for a couple of different companies that he was involved in starting around background checks, and it just seemed like the right move to be in an entrepreneur type of level.
Cool.
My wife, she is a rock star. We have 2 little kids, and she works for Nordstrom as a buyer. So she sets the bar when it comes to service. So when it came to just finding that connection and making that team, it's been really important in helping us be successful. So what better way to give service than to make sure that somebody's stuff is perfect and clean and protected.
So you've kind of created a family team.
Oh, absolutely. She runs the show. She controls everything from the back end, and I'm more of like the day-to-day activities, operations kind of a world.
Gotcha. So how many staff do you have on your?
We have 4 individuals right now that work with us. It's all part-time work, and really what we're helping people do is line their pockets a little bit, learn a little bit about it, and hopefully can step into some level of a manager experience so that takes some of it off of my plate.
Gotcha. Good. So what areas do you currently service, or where are you located?
We live in the Sunrise community in South Hill, Puyallup. We service all of Pierce County. We will also travel if the job is right and we're the right people to do the job. So we do a couple of different factory buildings and large company fleet washing and cleaning up by the Issaquah area.
So you do commercial as well? We
do residential, commercial cleaning. Well, pretty much anything that's outside, we'll clean it to make sure that it is ready for that heavy wet season that we have, the snows that we've been getting, as well as make it look really nice for when you have guests.
You don't realize everything that gets built up on the concrete and everything.
It's funny you say that. So anything that faces north is seeing less direct sunlight throughout the year. So with our wet seasons, and especially the snowpack that we've had recently, the last couple of years, will turn anything that blackish color before it turns green, or moss will grow on a roof or a side of a house, and moss essentially is like a jack to a car. So what it does is it gets underneath. So once it's growing on top of it, it starts to reach underneath and lift it up.
Yeah.
And it can do a ton of damage without you seeing it. And it's not so much the moss that's doing the damage to the interior of your house. It's then that moisture, that humidity, that water, and that's creating the real damage that's going to cost you a ton of money to fix.
Yeah, gotcha. So what's the craziest job you've ever done?
Let's just say we've all had those, hopefully not in an HOA, but we've all had those neighbors who have essentially a living roof.
Oh man.
And there's a lot of homeowners out there who wait and put it off and feel like it's an expensive cost. So we've taken care of some roofs and some siding that they look like they could be in the Olympic National Forest.
Oh man. Like layers of moss and growth.
It's very difficult to get off, because when it comes to power washing, you don't want to use pressure on certain surfaces, you want to use a soft wash.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's a good amount of chemical, it's a good amount of attention to detail, it's a long job, it's time consuming. That's the craziest.
Do you typically have to scrape first, or?
We do scrubbing. The whole point is to protect your things. So I'm not there to ruin anything. You know,
Yeah.
it's very misconception of how easy it can be to get rid of something that's growing. It's that same concept that you do for your landscaping and for all those things. You could do it yourself, but if you do it wrong, or if somebody comes and does it wrong, then it's going to cost you a lot of money in the end.
What are any tips or tricks you have for some homeowners out there?
It sounds cliche to say hire a professional, but I only say that really, and it's landscaping is the best dynamic of looking at it, right? You pay money you pay money for the chemicals or the equipment to keep your house, your manicured lawn, your green lawn. You can do all of those things, right? You want to be careful. You don't want to hire somebody that's not licensed, insured, and bonded. You don't want somebody to just come in, or you're not going to do it lazy and you're not going to do it yourself correctly.
Yeah.
So when it comes to pressure washing and cleaning your surfaces, it's that same concept, right? You can rent a machine from a Lowe's or from a Home Depot, and that machine could rip your siding off. It could rip the shingles off your roof.
If you use too much pressure, yeah.
Yeah, if you do it incorrect, even a 4,000 psi machine could rip your skin off if you have the wrong nozzle on. So essentially, you know, you're watering your concrete or your roof if you're not using the right chemicals. You're also messing with a machine that could potentially be dangerous.
Gotcha.
It's not impossible, right? But why would you want to risk something that costs a ton of money? It's somewhere in the vicinity of $18 a square foot for your roof. It's somewhere in the vicinity for $25 to $40 for a linear foot of a fence.
Okay.
It's somewhere in the vicinity for $18 to $20 for concrete to be laid per square foot. And to have them cleaned, it's like 25 cents to 40 cents, depending on the surface or the conditions. So.
Okay. So what, do you guys have a website, or how would somebody contact you?
We do. We have, we hopefully find you on your terms. We have a Facebook page for our business, Pacific Northwashed. We have a website that is PNWashed. So we have a website, and that's PNWashed. We have email addresses. We have a phone number. So our email is pnwashed@gmail.com. Our phone number is 253-256-3474. We give out free estimates and quotes. We're on Google Business, Pacific Northwashed. We are active in Facebook groups. We're active on Instagram. We take a lot of before and after photos and communicate directly with the customers. And we also do referral programs. So if you get something cleaned up and your neighbor hopefully is envious and wants to do it, or you want to work with your neighbor, we have neighbor discounts where we can come to your house first and then your neighbor's house second, and we'll run different programs like that.
Oh yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, definitely sounds like something that everyone needs a little education on and would be good to use.
Oh, absolutely. It's nice to think that your house is your investment, right? Your family, your loved ones are the people that you care about, and if you protect and you keep your surfaces clean on the outside, then the longevity of your investments in your home are always going to be there to shine.
Exactly.
A clean roof looks amazing. A clean concrete path. You know, most people have painted white concrete, and at this point, it is not painted in white.
Don't do that.
It is covered by nature.
Yep, and it's coming spring season, so time to clean up and get everything refreshed.
Absolutely.
So everybody contact James here at